Welcome to the Oceania of the Rotterdam Zoo for the talk of Sander van Lopink and myself. I'm M de Boer, the curator of the Rotterdam Zoo. On December 12, a live blue shark stranded on the beach of Oudorp, a small village on the south coast of the Netherlands. Blue sharks are rare in our part of the North Sea. This was the sixth sighting of a blue shark in the North Sea since the first sighting in 1927.
The first questions we had when we knew this blue shark was coming is how big is it? Can we house it? Do we have a big enough tank to make sure that we can provide this animal with the things he needs? In the meantime, attempts were made to put the shark back in the sea, but the shark kept swimming back to the shore. Because at really short notice, we had to make sure that we had a good facility for our sharks. We needed to use our quarantine. We are really glad to have such a big quarantine, but the biggest problem we had is that our biggest tank was filled with water of 24 degrees, while our shark currently was laying in water of 10 degrees. So we needed to shift quickly, and what we did is we pumped all the water out, get it outside, and got holding water in, which was 14 degrees, to make sure that we had a good facility to house the shark. The shark was transported to the Rotterdam Zoo in a dolphin box by the Sea Mammal Rescue Team. The shark gave little to no response on arrival. We decided to give him holding water of 14 degrees as quickly as we can. When the shark started to move a little bit more, we covered it up with a lid. After that, my colleague Martijn and I changed into a diving suit and we transported it to the big quarantine tank. This was quite a risk, since there was still some water of 24 degrees left in the big tank, but the state of the shark made us realize that we needed to act fast. The conditions of the shark didn't change too much when it was inside the transport box. We decided to walk it up and down the tank using its tail to support its heart function. As you can see, there's little to no movement by the shark itself. It looked cramped all of the time when we were walking up and down the tank. For almost an hour, we were working with the shark like this. We had lots of discussions if we even felt tension in the muscles at all. There was also little eye reflex, but not much progress in the meantime. Just at the moment when I began to doubt my own observations, Martijn said he could feel the tension in the muscles of the tail too. Here you can see the moment the 1.8 meters long shark is swimming by itself for the first time. It was such a relief after all these hours of work to see him swim independently. The coordination of a blue shark, normally swimming in open oceans, is not adapted to small tanks like this one in our quarantine. That's why we really needed to help him through the corners. On some occasions, the shark was able to turn by itself, but he was not strong enough to do this all the time. That is why my colleague Martijn and I were both standing on one side of the tank and ping-ponged the shark around while we were figuring out what to do next. In the meantime, we were discussing if we should force feed the shark with our colleagues and our vet. We decided that we should do so because the shark probably didn't eat for a long time. Our colleagues grinded some pieces of herring and diluted it with fresh water. We also added some vitamins. We were able to give the shark a 150 milliliters of this solution in 2 times. Based on occasions where we were waiting too long to force feed our sharks and raise in our aquarium, we took the gamble. It was quite a relief to find scientific articles afterwards where they did this with smaller blue sharks in Portugal with a positive effect. We are really happy to have such big quarantine facilities. However, the color of our tanks is something we really need to consider if we ever have sharks like this again. It gives us beautiful shots as this one, where the shark comes out of the blue. But what if the shark thinks the same of the walls of the tank? Our colleague Mike came with a solution to use black tape to make the end of the tank visible for the shark. In the meantime, we figured out that it would not be a healthy situation if the shark remained in our aquarium for too long. As you can see, the touching is also something he doesn't respond too well on. After consultation with experts inside and outside the zoo, we decided it was best for the shark to be released as soon as possible. However, if you care for the shark that much, you tend to forget yourself sometimes. Here you can see my colleague Martijn putting on a shorty to make sure he still stays warm. Standing in water of 14 degrees for hours is not the best thing for your body. There's a big chance for hypothermia. I have to admit, I was pretty close myself. We were pretty lucky to have our colleagues Krista and Mike to help us out. After swimming in our quarantine for more than 4 hours, it was time for the shark to get back to the sea. Our friends of the Sea Mammal Rescue Organization were there to get the animal back to the port. In the same dolphin box as it came in, it was brought to the port of Stellendam. It was vital to keep water running through the gills for the fish to breathe in the meantime.
10 hours after stranding, the shark was released back in the North Sea, 25 kilometers from the coast of Outdoor, the place where the animal was stranded.
Thanks for watching. We hope to see you soon in our zoo.